Good Day, and 2 more days after that. So thank you for having us, and I appreciate the Board of Legislators. They also did the resolution and made this meeting happen at fair in less than 59 days. So thank you.
I do have a proclamation for the fair and the fair board, and not only the weather and the events that were put on here by the fair board, but like Karen said, everybody was cooped up, just itching to get out. But where else would you want to go than the best fair in New York State, in Allegheny County, right here? Whereas Allegheny County Agricultural Society was started in 1843, and the first Allegheny County Fair was held on October 8, 1844, and whereas for 176 years, the Allegheny County Fair has promoted the rich agricultural history and heritage of Allegheny County, and whereas the fair supports agricultural education for children, particularly for 4-H and FFA members. And whereas the Allegheny County Fair is an event that creates a strong sense of community through volunteerism and participation. And whereas the fair provides an opportunity for adults and children to exhibit their talents in fine arts, crafts, sewing, needlework, food preservation, baking, gardening, and raising and showing animals. For community organizations and businesses to promote themselves and their services, and whereas a full schedule of events and activities, including horse pulls, livestock judging, musical performances, amusement rides, rodeo, and a demolition derby, provide entertainment for all ages. And whereas each year the fair attracts thousands of visitors from outside of Allegheny County, therefore providing tourism destination and benefiting our local economy. Now therefore, I, Curtis W. Crandall, Chairman of the Allegheny County Board of Legislators, do hereby proclaim July 19th through the 24th, 2021 as Allegheny County Fair Week in Allegheny County. There is a sign-up book in the domestics building here. Ellen's waving her hand, and she'll clue us in later as to how many states and how many countries were signed in that book. But I can tell you, midweek, a lot of states and several countries, and so it's not all people from Allegheny County that visit this fair. At this time, I would like to have Jim Ryan come up and join me for a few minutes, if he would. Jim, thanks for joining me here today. For a number of years, and I'll go back with when there was a large fair book that was always produced, and then as times changed, there's not, the book isn't produced, but still, I can tell you, as for a number of years, I've attended the fair board dinner in the 4-H building while it was being announced who the book and the fair was being dedicated to. And it was a surprise right up to that moment, and a shock to some as their name was announced, and tears flowed, and the family all of a sudden emerged out of the back room to surprise them, and it always amazed me when that took place. This year's fair dedication is a little bit different. We mentioned volunteerism and the many people that make this fair possible. And one of those that has made this fair possible for a long time and is no longer with us is Noreen Ryan, Jim's wife. And this year's fair was dedicated, or is dedicated, in the memory of Noreen for all of the time that she dedicated to the fair. The Allegheny County Agricultural Society announced that the 2021 Allegheny County Fair would be dedicated in memory of Noreen Ryan, a longtime member of the society. Noreen served as office manager and was a lifetime volunteer of the fair. Noreen was raised at the fairgrounds, and she would recall as a child riding one of the water wagons as her dad watered the racetrack. Another of her childhood memories was searching for coins in the sawdust, and that was an activity brought back to the fair in 2019. Noreen began working in the office in 1973 as a junior in high school and worked her way up to office manager. Noreen and her husband Jim would volunteer their time to tend to the daily needs of the fair, like watering the flowers, checking the grounds, and many remember her working the fair booth in the Jennings building just behind us, of which she volunteered her time as well. A bench was dedicated in memory of Noreen Ryan on Sunday, July 18th at the Vesper services here in the mini theater, and the blue ribbon that you see on this year's fair pin reminds us of her dedication above and beyond her normal responsibilities here at the fair. So it's my honor to present to you, Jim, a certificate and reminder of all of the time that Noreen spent here at the fair in making it a little better for all of us.
The other night about right after Christmas time, usually a week or so after, about like everybody else, Christmas trees usually stay up that long. But the Christmas tree would come down, the bowling table would come up in our living room, chairs would fold up to it, up on the fairground sheet down and get the books. That ribbon order's got to be done. Got to be ready. And then she'd start hounding the directors for. And Mark Stone, I was talking to him the other night there, he said that she used to scare him to death. But she wouldn't rest until she got that ribbon order done. That was top priority. Had to be him and get it done. One story there I forgot to tell the other night, I meant to, was the 4-H kids with the rose. They get their ribbon or rosette and just hang it just above the animals like they always did. Well, you know how those like to get inquisitive and start chomping on things. They'd reach up and chomp the ribbon half off or chomp it down. They'd come down to the office and have some of the little ones would be in tears and having a blowout over that, and she'd say, oh, let me see what I can do with it. So she'd take that, and if there was a rosette, and they'd have to make some pieces and parts out of old ones and the hot glue gun come out down to the house, and we'd start making up new ones for them. Then she'd hand it back to them, and instead of yelling and hollering at them, she'd say, now. take that back, but make sure you hang at a higher this time, so they don't chop that one off. And usually when they come in the next year to get signed up for their passes and such, and she asked them, you got your goat there this year, don't you? Oh yeah. Well, if you get your ribbon, make sure you hang off there a wire. You don't want to go through that again this year. But she did love the Allegheny County Fair, and that was, and all the directors and everybody, the 4-H and everybody that was involved with it, that was her passion. There was times when, at night, when her shift had ended, I'd come up and get her so we could go eat, and I'd have to actually pry her out of that office to go and go eat. She was worried about that. We'd come up and we'd eat, and the next thing you know, we'd end up backing out the office again. So that was her big thing. Thank you for the. We've heard a little bit about what goes on at the fair, but one of the more important pieces of that and what takes place here is the display of animals and 4-H and all of that for our youth. And at this time I'd like to have Morgan Holcomb come up and join me for a minute if she would. Morgan, welcome. Morgan was down working the dairy show just a few minutes before we started, and I said, "Where's Morgan?" She'll be here. She's changing her clothes. She's getting cleaned up, and here she is, all polished up, ready to go. Morgan is going to talk a little bit about what this fair means to her. And Morgan is 13 years old, headed into the 7th grade at Friendship Central School. She's a 3rd-generation fair attendee. She lives on a farm and has been dealing with farm and farm animals for many years. She's very active in the 4-H and started as a clover bud when she was just 4 years old. She competes at other fairs around the state, and she is going to share a little bit as to what the fair means to her. Morgan?
Involved in 4-H since I was 4 years old. I show dairy cows and market hogs and have exhibits in the youth. I was asked why a fair is important to me. I think it's opportunities, friends, family, and memories. I think a fair is so much more than just a ride. A fair is where parents can take their kids to see animals. I see a lot of people come through the barns that have never seen a cow close up or even touched one. I love watching kids' face light up when I ask them if they want to pet a cow. Even adults get excited. Most families don't get to see farm animals every day. A fair isn't about the trophies or the ribbons or the banners. It's all about all the memories that are made in the showroom, whether you show cows, pigs, goats, horses, or chickens. It's all about you having fun and making memories. A fair is the highlight of a 4-H'er summer. Us 4-H'ers count down the days until a fair. But when you have rides and food, it would be a festival. But when you have rides, food, animals, and shows, the talks discussing the animals with my parents and other family members. That is my favorite thing to do with my family. When I even think about the idea of having no animals at a fair, it just breaks my heart that people could ever imagine that. Because that would mean taking away all of the opportunities that come along with showing. One really nice thing about a fair is when you have your family supporting you and all of the positive things they can say. I'm so happy that it is drying up and we are finally having a fun and safe and memorable fair. I know this fair wouldn't happen without all the volunteers, so thank you to all of the volunteers.
All of the talk that we've done about the fair, we could have just turned it over and summed it up very nicely. Thank you so much. Since our first meeting here at the fair, we've included the Boy Scouts, and the Boy Scout Troop 736 from Angelica has filled the bill to be our color guard for each of these meetings. And at this time, I'd like to have Noah Ford and Jacob Bliss and Jacob White, our color guard, please come forward for a minute if they would. Guys, welcome. And we have Noah Ford is 16 years old. He's in grade 11 and rank of Star. He lives in Angelica and attends the Genesee Valley School. And Noah has been here before. He's experienced at this. So thank you so much, Noah, for being here. We also have Jacob Bliss. Jacob is 15. Noah, did you get your other certificates? Wow, bypassed congressman, senator, and assembly. You don't want to do that. Those are the important ones. School as well, and he's a seasoned veteran with us as well. I believe you've done this before. All right, thank you so much for being here. Jacob White is our newcomer for this year. You have not done this before with us, right? And so thank you for being here as well. Jacob is 14. He's in the 9th grade and rank of second class. He lives in Angelica and also attends Genesee Valley School. So, Jacob, thank you so much. We have what was going to be a surprise guest, but I spoiled the surprise about 3 minutes before we called the meeting to order, and that is a 4-H honoree, Caitlin. Welcome. Thank you for being here. The reason I say it was a surprise that I spoiled And Caitlin's another one that was working. I believe you were at the taking tickets for folks on their way in, and was just told to come up here and be at the mini theater. And I'm sure she said, "What the heck for? I've got work to do." But 4-H is very important, and as we heard, very important to the youth, what goes on at the fair here. And Caitlin was selected. Don't tell me how that works out. I was amazed that anybody could ever reach 100, let alone 104 cumulative grade average. She is a member of National Honor Society and was her class president for all 4 years of high school. She has participated in numerous sports during her high school career, including soccer, basketball, cheerleading, and softball. She was awarded the Scholar Athlete Award over numerous years and the 3-Sport Athlete Maintaining Honor Roll Award for the academic year of 2000 and 2001. She has been a mentor for other school programs, working with younger children, and worked as a tutor for various courses. Out of all of her extracurricular activities, 4-H has always been her favorite. She started as a Clover Bud in 2008 and participated in her first Allegheny County Fair in 2009 with milking shorthorn dairy calves. Over the years, she has shown multiple species, including dairy and beef cattle, dairy goats, pigs, and created many projects for the youth building. She has been nominated for the E.B. Karn Public Speaking Competition for numerous years, won multiple projects selected for the New York State Fair, and was selected for the Stockman Award. Helping new 4-Hers learn more about their animals and showing. This has led her to seek out a career in teaching science, for which she has received multiple college scholarships, including the Alfred University Scholar Award. And I do want to mention that Caitlin's grandfather, David McKenna, or David. Stand up just for a minute, David. David is Caitlin's grandfather, but also a fellow legislator in Tompkins County, and came out for this award. But as a fellow legislator, thank you for being here and joining us for this as well. And not to get into politics, but I believe David is a Republican. Tompkins County, I mean. Thank you so much, and congratulations, Grandpa. As her public speaking accomplishment, she said she doesn't want to speak. Anyways, Caitlin, congratulations, and in honor of your 4-H accomplishments, along with all of the other list of accomplishments, thanks for joining us here today, and a surprise. Caitlin, could I get a few public speaking lessons later on? As I introduced earlier, our state and federal representatives, we've been honored to have them join us each year that we've been here at the fair. And this year is no exception. And I would like to introduce and have Senator George Varela come up and address us today. Senator, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Well, it is amazing to be here, but this year especially is so special because we've recovered from this pandemic. We lost the fair and so many other great events last year, and it's just great to be out here with people, shaking hands, talking to each other, face to face. No more virtual. It's great to be back here at the Allegheny County Fair. I want to also take a moment to say your host for today, the MC, Kurt Crandall, has done an amazing job here as the chairman of this legislature for how many years now, Kurt? 20 years. This will be his last county fair as he's announced retirement. And Kurt, thank you so much for your amazing service to Allegheny County. But it is a celebration of our agricultural heritage and where we are right now in this area. Agriculture is the #1 industry, not just here in Allegheny County, but throughout New York State. It is critically important and a foundation of what we do here. So it's so great to celebrate the achievements of our young people that are continuing the tradition on through 4-H and other organizations. And organizations like 4-H not only do they teach the stewardship of animals and the stewardship of our land, but they teach these kids to be great citizens. I mean, my God, 104 for the valedictorian. That would take me all 4 years to add it all up to get to 104. And so these are great citizens, model citizens. We are looking now at a nation and a state that is not teaching our children good citizenship. They're not teaching them how important it is to understand what it's like to take care of the land, to take care of our animals. They're not teaching them, quite frankly, a respect for the traditions of the United States of America, that's for sure. So I'm so glad that we have those strong traditions carried on here in our region, here in Allegheny County. It's critically important to our future, folks. We want to keep those kids here. We want to bring them back if they leave. But most importantly, we want to ensure that the lifestyle that we have here is truly unique. I spent more than 20 years traveling all over the country, all over the world. I've seen what it's like. I've seen socialist countries. I've been to Cuba. I've been to other areas of the world where people do not live. There is no middle class. People live day to day. They're not worried about equity and justice. They're worried about where the next meal is coming from. We don't have that in America. We have the luxury of being able to have that kind of discourse here. Because that's why we are, as Kurt said, the greatest nation on earth. We've given people the luxury to stand up and speak out. And until people realize that this is the greatest nation on earth, we will struggle. But at the end of the day, I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a resident of New York State, and I'm very proud to represent all of you in the New York State Senate. Thank you very much.
No stranger here is our Assemblyman Joe Gilliel. Joe, welcome once again.
Good afternoon. And I always look forward to coming here because the view from here to there. I bring it up. I just realized where we live and why we live here. And it's, again, one of the highlights of the fair for me. Secondly, as they said, after coming out of the darkness and working with you guys for so long as we tried to move forward and make this a better place to live and get through, again, the darkness that pandemic was, there wasn't a day where I wasn't able to talk to any one of our legislators and our department heads who helped us a lot. And we kept contact and we moved forward because we're a good team. And our first concern was always what was going to happen to the people that live here. Nothing else. Just how we were going to come out of it and how we were all going to come out of it healthy. So as the senator said, it's great to be here among people again, because that's what we are, the people business. And if you don't get a chance to get away, guys, you'd be amazed at the stuff we hear and how much it affects what we do when we're in Albany or in Belmont or wherever. One more thing I'd like to add. I have been always impressed and amazed at how good our kids are. The 4-H'ers, the Boy Scouts, and the veterans who are not kids. But the veterans, every time I come here, and it dawned on me, we talk about history, Kurt mentioned history, how many years this has been going on. Well, today is our history. These kids, what's going on, this is our chip. These legislators, this is what happens now. And maybe 10 years from now that we talk about how Kurt managed this and how it happened every year, even with tornadoes, which is kind of incredible. The only thing that slowed us down and stopped us was the pandemic that was worldwide, because nothing else could. So I sit here today, and again, I thank you the same way the senator did, for allowing me to be your delegate in Albany at the Assembly. And I thank you for allowing me to stand here and see that view. And I thank you all for being friends and making me part of a wonderful community. God bless you.
This time I'd like to have Lee James come up and say a few words. She's here speaking on behalf of Congressman Tom Reed, and Lee is no stranger either. And locally, the town supervisor of Cuba, and Lee, welcome.
It's wonderful to be here today on behalf of Congressman Tom Reed and send along his thanks and appreciation, especially to the Fair Board, to be able to pull this off in 59 days. When Karen told me that this was going to happen, and to the extent that they were able to plan and bring all these great programs together, it's nothing short of amazing. So it's wonderful to be here. I want to send along Tom's gratitude to each and every one of you. And Kurt, thank you. I don't know if it was your idea to bring this forward or what out here to the people, but bringing out a meeting like this to the people is very important. And I think some of the best ideas, like as someone Angelio said, may come from the folks that attend the fair and you meet them on the fairway. And Tom was always grateful when we came out to do town halls, that some of the best ideas came from the folks when you see them out here in the district. So again, on behalf of Congressman Reed, thank you, and thank you for bringing out the sunshine and the good weather today.
As I said, this is a regular board meeting, and we do have business to take care of.
On your desk is a copy of the August calendar. Are there going to be any changes? We did add several meetings, a committee of the whole at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, August 18th, and budget review meetings all day on August 25th and August 26th. Chairman Crandall declared July 19th through the 24th as Allegheny County Fair Week.
Resolutions.
Resolution intro number 18121, creation of 2 part-time positions of laborer within the Office for the Aging. This resolution is being offered by your Human Services and Personnel Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by Legislator Hopkins and seconded by Legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes.
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick. Yes. Mr. Crandall.
Yes.
Mr. Curran.
Yes.
Mr. Decker.
Yes.
Mr. Dibble. Mr. Fannin.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Haley.
Yes.
Mr. Healy.
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins. Yes. Mr. Rickey.
Yes.
Mr. Stockton.
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 182-21. Transfer of funds within Department of Health accounts. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by Legislator Hopkins and seconded by Legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes.
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick. Mr. Crandall.
Yes.
Mr. Curran.
Yes.
Mr. Decker.
Yes.
Mr. Dibble. Mr. Fenton.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Havey.
Yes.
Mr. Healy.
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins. Yes. Mr. Ricky.
Yes.
Mr. Stockton.
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 183-21. Reappropriation of unspent CARES Act funding from the 2020 budget for the Office for the Aging. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services and Ways and Means Committee and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by Legislator Hopkins, seconded by Legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Yes. Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13
Is passed.
Resolution intro number 184-21. Acceptance and appropriation of federal funding under the Consolidated Appropriations Act and the American Rescue Plan for the Office for the Aging. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by Legislator Hopkins and seconded by Legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call. No. Legislator Hopkins.
Mr. Chair, I think that it's appropriate that we mention the sum of money in this resolution coming to Allegheny County under federal funding under the Consolidated Appropriations Act. We will be receiving with this one motion $239,889.
Thank you for that. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Fenton?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 185-21. Acceptance and appropriation of the donation from the Allegheny County Student Government Class for the Office for the Aging to support travel expenses for the Home Delivered Meals Program. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services and Ways and Means Committee and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by Legislator Hopkins and seconded by Legislator Burdick. Discussion. This amount is $756, but no less important.
And especially, Mr. Chair, it was raised by the student government class, which works as student interns, and it's great that they wanted to raise money for the travel expenses for the Home Delivered Meals Program for the legislature.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Yes. Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Fenton?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton? 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 18621. Acceptance and appropriation of additional federal funding from New York State Department of Health through Health Research Institute to conduct case and contact investigations for the Department of Health. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by Legislator Hopkins, seconded by Legislator Burdick. Discussion? Legislator Hopkins?
Mr. Chair, I just want to explain to you that all of these motions are coming from Human Services, and it's a particularly large group of resolutions today. This particular resolution, we just want to highlight to you because it is coming again with additional federal funding from the New York State Department of Health through Health Research Institute to conduct this important work. This amount is $327,832, and this is money that is desperately needed in the state through state and federal funds for recovering of COVID in our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? And the reason that Legislator Hopkins is moving these resolutions and seconded by Legislator Burdick is because they are chair and vice chair of the Human Services Committee. And everybody just thought it was because you were the best looking legislators here. Now you have a squad. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Yes. Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Fancy?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 18721. Acceptance and appropriation of New York State Department of Health through Health Research Institute federal funding for COVID-19 screening testing program for all Allegheny County schools. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by Legislator Hopkins and seconded by Legislator Burdick. Discussion? Legislator Hopkins?
One of the reasons there is very little discussion on all these resolutions is that this has already gone through the committee and the Ways and Means Committee as well. So our legislature has had a chance to really discuss all of this. I just wanted to highlight again the amount of this coming from the state funds is $1,476,509, and this money is going to be going through the Department of Health to help up the schools with reopening and the expenses that they had in reopening this fall. Thank you.
Our representatives, I think, brought checks today. Further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Yes. Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Fancy?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton? 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 18821. Acceptance and appropriation of federal funds through the grants to enhance adult protective services to respond to COVID-19 to the Department of Social Services. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by legislator Hopkins, seconded by legislator Burdick. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Yes. Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Panton?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Davy?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins?
Yes.
Mr. Rigby?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution interim number 18921. Acceptance and appropriation of the New York State 2020-2021 Public Safety Answering Points Grant, establishing capital project account. This resolution is being offered by the Public Safety and Ways and Means Committee and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by legislator Healy, seconded by legislator Dibble. Discussion? Legislator Healy?
As has been pointed out by legislator Hopkins in the previous resolution, this resolution is accepting and appropriating monies received from New York State Public Safety Answering Points Grant Award in the amount of $135,050 that will take much needed radio equipment in our 911 radio center. And I'm glad that we received this money. It's been an ongoing grant, and once again, we've been awarded that money, and that's a good thing for 911 and all the citizens of the county.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Yes. Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Panton?
Sure.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Davy?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Yes. 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution interim number 19021, adjustments to the 2021 budget to appropriate the federal and state aid to cover the increase in design phase funding for the Pine Street Bridge over Canacadea Creek in the town and village of Alfred. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works and Ways and Means Committee and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by legislator Payne, seconded by legislator Ricky. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Yes. Mr. Crandall? Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Panton?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Davy?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Rigby?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution interim number 19121, approving supplemental agreement number 2 between County of Allegheny and the New York State Department of Transportation to increase the design phase funding of the bridge replacement Pine Street over Canacadea Creek in the town and village of Alfred. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works Committee and has committee approval.
Motion is made by legislator Fanton and seconded by legislator Ricky. Discussion? Legislator Fanton?
Yeah, I would just like to point out that these next resolutions that we do are very important to our infrastructure for Allegheny County. These are bridges that really need replacing or repairing, and mostly replaced. And I find it very advantageous that we've been able to get these projects approved. So I appreciate what the Department of Public Works does at our level and at the state level, because they've been very helpful to getting these done. So thank you.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mr. Stockton.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution 19221. Adjustments to the 2021 budget to appropriate the federal, state, and town aid to cover the cost of additional construction inspection phase funding with correlating Marchicelli monies for the replacement of the Weaver Grove Bridge over the Genesee River in the town of Wellsville. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by legislator Fanning, seconded by legislator Ricky. Discussion. Legislator Dibble.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to point out on the west side of the bridge where the public motorized has been walking versus up there. Thank you.
Further discussion.
That needs to be included in the design package.
Thank you. Further discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Burns?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Fanning?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Tompkins? Yes. Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton? 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 19321, approving supplemental agreement number 2 between County of Allegheny and New York State Department of Transportation for additional construction inspection phase funding for the bridge replacement, Weaver Road over Genesee River in the town of Wellsville. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works Committee and has committee approval.
Motion is made by legislator Fanning, seconded by legislator Ricky. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Fanning?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky? Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 19421. Acceptance and appropriation of additional extreme winter recovery funds and Pave New York funds for state fiscal year 21-22 budget adjustments for the carryover of remaining 2020 funds for state fiscal year 2020 to 2021 consolidated highway improvement program in the Department of Public Works. This resolution is being offered by the Public Works and Ways and Means Committees and has both committees' approval.
Motion is made by legislator Fanning, seconded by legislator Ricky. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Burns?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Fanning? Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 19521, approval of agreement between the County of Allegheny and Accessible Solutions Incorporated for the Office for the Aging. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services Committee and has committee approval.
Motion is made by legislator Hopkins, seconded by legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 19621, approval of agreement between the Department of Social Services and the Allegheny County Employment and Training Center for the Summer Youth Program. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services Committee and has committee approval.
Motion is made by legislator Hopkins, seconded by legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Stanton? Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky? Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 19721, approval of agreement between the County of Allegheny and Olean General Hospital and the Department of Social Services. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services Committee and has committee approval.
Motion is made by legislator Hopkins and seconded by legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky? Mr. Stockton? 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 19821, approval of agreement between the Department of Health WIC office. This resolution is has committee approval.
Motion is made by legislator Hopkins and seconded by legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky? Mr. Stockton? 13 ayes. Approval of amended agreement for counseling services committee approval.
Motion is made by legislator Hopkins, seconded by legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall? Mr. Curran? Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Stanton? Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Havey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky? Mr. Stockton? 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 221, approval of agreements with facilities for COVID-19 vaccination clinics for the Department of Health. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services Committee and has committee approval.
Motion is made by legislator Hopkins, seconded by legislator Burdick. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky? Mr. Stockton? 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 20121, about renewal of multiple agreements with facilities for WIC clinic sites for the Department of Health. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services Committee, who has committee approval.
Motion is made by legislator Hopkins, seconded by legislator Burdick. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran? Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Finn?
Yes.
Mr. Harris? Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton? 13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed.
Resolution intro number 20221, approval of agreement between the County of Allegheny and Grant and Briggs Incorporated for the Department of Health WIC office. This resolution is being offered by the Human Services Committee, who has
Hopkins, seconded by legislator Burdick. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Finn? Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Beatty?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed. How would you like your audits?
Collectively and by totals, please.
Collectively and by totals, moved by legislator Stockton and seconded by legislator Fanton. All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
General government support, $67,095.17. Education, $65,873.14. Public safety, $57,836.37. Health, $29,259.23. Bus transportation, $83,888.25. Economic assistance and opportunity, $606,804.06. Culture and recreation, $213.58. Employee 39. Our general fund total, $947,129.43. Our payroll and taxes total, $1,129,609.80. Our capital funds total, $321,382.33. Our other funds total, $574,613.43, for a grand total of $2,972,734.99.
Motion to pay the bills, moved by legislator Dibble, seconded by legislator Harris. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Barnes?
Aye.
Mrs. Burdick? Mr. Crandall? Mr. Curran?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Dibble? Mr. Finn? Mr. Harris? Mr. Beatty?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkins? Mr. Ricky? Mr. Stockton?
Yes.
13 ayes, 2 absent.
Resolution is passed. Now that we're done with the Hopkins Burdick show for this afternoon, does anybody have anything else they would like to bring before the board before we adjourn? If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn, made by legislator Becker, seconded by legislator Ricky. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all for being here.